All right, welcome to a gentle yoga practice. When you're ready, you can meet me actually in a seated position to start. So however you can sit comfortably is great. You might want to stretch a little bit, shrug the shoulders around, and then allow yourself to find some stillness without forcing the body. Maybe you just allow your eyes to soften or your gaze to rest on one spot. And see if you can start to pull a little bit more of your awareness into your body by noticing your breath. And that's as simple as beginning to become aware when you're breathing in, that you're breathing in. And when you're breathing out, that you're breathing out. So nice long inhales, filling that sense of space in the body as the air fills your lungs and your ribs expand, and then slow exhales. Maybe you feel the shoulders melt down your back a little bit, your sit bones get a little heavier, more rooted. More nice long inhales, as if you could inhale from the base of the spine all the way up to the crown of the head. And slow exhales, drawing that awareness from the crown of the head all the way back down to your sit bones. Take one more long breath like this on your own. You're welcome to keep the eyes closed as much as you like in the practice and just listen for verbal cues. You can also always blink the eyes open at any point in time. We're going to start by reaching the arms up overhead. Interlace your fingers. Keep your neck neutral so your gaze is straight forward for right now as you press the palms up. A little bit of energy comes into the abdominals. So you're really lengthening the lower back, the middle of your back, between the back of the ribs, all the way up through the base of the skull. Take another big breath in. And then we're going to cactus or W the elbows at a tiny little angle here. So instead of coming straight down to the sides, my elbows are back a little bit further than the wrists. We're going to reach the arms back up, interlace the fingers, press the palms toward the ceiling, root your sit bones into the floor. And then exhale, bend the elbows, pull the shoulders down your back, maybe even look side to side. Do that again. Inhale, arms up, press the palms toward the ceiling. And then exhale, cactus your elbows. Interlace your hands at your lower back here. I'll turn around. You can tug the knuckles down, and then we're going to try and bring the knuckles over to the left side of your body. So you can keep the knuckles at the left hip or the left side waist, or you can release the left hand and use your right hand to catch kind of above the elbow if possible. So whichever variation of that kind of bind you've got, either catching the upper arm or interlacing the fingers is great. Breathe into it. And then we're going to drop the left ear toward the left shoulder. Let the eyes again soften or even close down. And then just tune into the sensations in the right side of the neck. Relax the right side of your jaw and your cheeks. And take one more inhale. Bring your chin to your chest and release the bind as you exhale. We'll reach the arms up overhead, interlace the fingers, press the palms away from you, engage the abdominals. And then exhale, bend your elbows, feel the shoulder blades squeeze towards your spine. Interlace the hands, maybe you switch which pinky is on the outside here. Take a breath in. And then either bring your knuckles over toward the right side of your waist or your right hip, or use your left hand to catch above that right elbow if possible. Or just gently working into that bind. And then drop your right ear toward your right shoulder. Can you breathe in a way that helps you feel a little bit more ease in your body? Maybe breathe in a way that helps your mind have a focal point. Sometimes in yoga, we talk about meditation. And before meditation happens, we have an opportunity to practice concentration and focus. The object of that focus is often the breath. So stay here. Feel into one more nice long inhale. Let that breath stretch gently through the right side of the jaw, or the left side, excuse me, and the neck. And then chin to chest as you exhale, release the mind. Arms up overhead. And then bend the elbows, pull your heart through. Go ahead and lift the chin up. So we haven't found that extension just yet. Here's our back bend. Catch the knees as you scoop the pelvis under. Maybe you roll back onto the sit bones a little bit, shoulders toward your ears, chin toward your chest. Then again, inhale, pull the heart through, chin comes up, butt sticks back a little bit. And then exhale, round your spine, scoop the tailbone under so the pubic bone moves toward your belly button. One more, breathe in. Breathe out. Go ahead and release your legs, find a tabletop position, coming to hands and knees here. From hands and knees, step your right toes back behind you. So we're still on the ball of the right foot, your wrists are underneath your shoulders, and then press back through your right heel to stretch through the calf and the Achilles. You can stay here, it might feel good to rock a little bit forward and backward. Sometimes it even feels fun to explore coming all the way up onto the top of that right foot. Take it easy, go nice and slow so your body has time to give you any feedback that might be useful before trying to force it into a certain range of motion that it might not be warmed up enough for just yet. And then the next time you've got your shoulders over your wrists, pause, stay here. Push the hands down, float the right leg up, straight back behind you. You can stay there or play around with reaching the left arm forward for your spinal balance. Pressing down through those points of contact in your right hand to give your chest and your core muscles a little bit of that extra stability, that feedback to square the hips and the ribs down. Take a breath in and then slowly lower the hand and the knee down. Widen out the knees, bring the big toes close together, and then press back toward a child's pose. You can absolutely take a narrowed kneed child's pose if that feels better today. And stay here for 3 to 5 long breaths, depending on how long your breaths are. Feel free to adjust at any point, but see if you can continue to deepen your awareness of the sensation of the stretch as you breathe into it. And notice if you're holding tension in your jaw, if you can soften around the mouth, around the eyes. When you're ready, start to shift back forward to your hands and your knees. You can readjust so that the knees are underneath the hips. It might feel good to rock a little bit side to side here. And then left foot is going to come back on the ball of the left foot. Keep reaching the crown of the head straight forward. Push your left heel back in space. You can hold this isometric stretch or go ahead and rock forward and backward, maybe coming all the way up onto the top of the left foot, exploring that ankle mobility and range of motion. And being curious about it, right? So sometimes the range of motion is going to be different for any number of reasons. Sometimes it's just how our bones are, our joints are articulated. Sometimes maybe we have a history of an injury or something like that. We're always going to meet the body where it is and stay curious about what it's capable of today. The next time, if you're rocking forward and backward, the next time you got shoulders over the wrist, push the hands down, draw the low belly to the low back, and float the left leg up. Find some ease here in your face again. Stay or reach the right arm forward as you keep pressing down through the left hand, especially the base of the thumb and maybe the pinky finger. Breathe in. And we've got child's pose, wide or narrow knees. 3 to 5 deep breaths. Take one more nice long inhale. And slow exhale, let your body melt. When you're ready, I'm gonna rock forward and meet me laying down on your right hand side with your knees bent. If it's available to use your right arm underneath your head like a little pillow, do it. From here, we're gonna start to draw some circles with that left arm. Totally okay to bend the elbow here. You relax the wrist and the fingers. Then switch direction of the arm circles. Let the shoulder move around. And then let's take that left arm and reach it all the way up over. So finding a big side body stretch. Keep your right knee bent, but extend your left leg back behind you. Really, truly back behind you. So out, lengthen the leg, and then back behind the body a bit. Just stretch the front of the left hip and thigh. Take a breath in, and then we're gonna play around with bringing that left knee forward as close as you can. Maybe even reach down with your left hand to hug it into your chest. We're gonna re-extend that left leg back behind, reach the left arm up over your head and maybe back behind the head a little bit. And then do that again. Exhale, bring the knee in, hug it in. This time, stack the knees. Lift up onto your right elbow. Right elbow is directly beneath your right shoulder. You can bring your hands to your left hip. This is the part of practice that is a little bit active. You can absolutely stay right here. Focus on driving that right elbow straight down, driving down, shoulder aligned directly over the elbow. That might be where you stay. You'll feel some muscles in the side of the body start to turn on. If you want a little bit more, lift the hips. If you want even more than that, keep your left leg active, lift the knee, and press the hips forward. So we're extending the front side of the hips. We're gonna lower the knees back together, lower the butt down, the right side of the butt, and then maybe we lift back up and extend through the hips. So you could hold at any one of these ranges. I'm gonna move through a few more rounds. Whatever you're doing, make sure that your bottom elbow and shoulder are aligned and you're pressing straight down through that right shoulder. We're gonna ultimately work all the way back down onto the right side with that right arm extended. So meet me there. And then reach back with your left hand to catch your foot for a quad stretch. Totally okay if you can't quite reach the foot here. You might use a towel or a strap or kind of hold on to your pant leg, something. We're looking for a stretch in the front of the left thigh, left hip flexors. Maybe you soften or close your eyes and renew that focus on your breathing.
staying curious about the flow of breath. Notice where it moves really easily in your body. Maybe also notice, maybe it's very easy to notice where it doesn't flow super easily. If you're dealing with allergies or some congestion, staying really interested in your experience, in your body, your present moment experience with your breath, with the stretch. One more nice long inhale. See if you can avoid slingshotting that leg. So slowly lengthen it all the way out. Bring it out in front of you. So of course my foot comes off of the screen. That foot is straight out in front of the hip. Little counter stretch. And then roll all the way onto your belly. Once you land on your belly, we're going to set up in Sphinx pose. So separate your feet a little wider than hips distance, maybe a lot wider than hips distance. And then just wiggle around through the hips, release the low back. You point your nose straight forward in your Sphinx. Let the eyes soften or close. Just tune in to the sensations in your legs. Notice if you feel any contrast between the left hip and thigh versus the right hip and thigh. It would feel good to invite some really gentle movement into the neck. You take some slow circles of the head. They could be half circles. If you're going in one direction, going in that same direction for another moment or two, I'll give you a halfway point here. Good, switch direction if you were doing those full circles. Notice if there's areas in the neck that feel real gritty, slow down around those spaces. Maybe you even reduce the range of motion a little bit to honor the sensations in your body today. When you're ready, come through the center. Point the nose upward, stay here or walk the hands closer to you and farther away from one another for your seal. If you come up into seal, try and keep your glutes relatively relaxed. So we're looking for some gentle compression in the lower back, those lumbar vertebrae. One more big breath in. And then slowly lower all the way down. Make a little pillow by stacking the backs of your hands and drop your forehead straight down here. Take a couple breaths. When you're ready, meet me laying on your left hand side. So we'll set up that sequence starting with our shoulder circles on the right arm. So set up knees bent, left arm long underneath you if possible. You can prop yourself up if you need or slide a pillow underneath the side of your neck. And then we're going to take the right arm in those gentle, slow motion shoulder circles. So see if you can make this really soft and smooth. Feel free to bend the elbow. But switch the direction of the arm circles. Let the shoulder blade move up towards your ear, down toward your hip, in toward your spine, and out toward the ceiling. And then drape that top arm over your head. Big long side body stretch here. When you're ready, you're gonna reach that top leg straight back and at an angle behind you. Maybe we bring elbow to knee or hand to knee. Maybe you hug your top knee into your chest, get a little stretch through the right side of the low back. And then try that big side body stretch again. A couple more rounds if you want. Hugging the knee in, extending back. And hugging the knee in. And then setting the knees on top of one another. We'll set up for our forearm side plank variation. So stack shoulder and elbow in one nice straight line. I didn't mention on the other side, but your right fingertips could come in front of you for a little bit of support as you drive that left elbow down, drive through your shoulder, stay here or lift the hips up. You can keep the hand there for a little support or bring it to your hip. Make sure everything still feels good in the shoulder if you're here with me. And then we have the option of lifting the top knee and pressing the hips forward. Bringing the hips back in line and lowering the knee and then lowering the hips. So move through whatever version of this feels satisfying to your body. Remember, you could be right here, just pushing the floor away. We're gonna meet with the hips down, the knees bent. Lower back on to your left arm and then right hand to the right foot. As you find your quad stretch, you can adjust your bottom leg for some support, some stability. And just keep gently checking in with your jaw and your brow. Maybe relax through the left fingers and the left toes a little bit more. When you're ready, without slingshotting that top leg, let it go. And then roll all the way back on to your belly. And again, stack the hands to make a little pillow for your forehead. Take a couple rounds of breath here. Notice the rebound sensation in your body, what it feels like to let your muscles kind of melt back into the support of the ground underneath you. Let yourself be held. And from here, we're gonna work our way on to the back, finishing up with a spinal twist. So if you have a version of a spinal twist that feels really good to you, please just take that. I'm gonna suggest a twisted root version. So if you wanna play around with that with me, the right knee will come on top of the left knee, like you're sitting cross-legged. Bring your left foot down for a moment. Push into your left foot, lift the hips and shift them just a couple inches over to your right, and then drop the knees to your left. You can T or cactus your right elbow out to the right, and the left hand might reach down and catch the crook of the right knee. Check in with your spine, find some length in the sides of the neck. Maybe your nose is pointing straight up. That feels good, stay there. Otherwise, keep your neck long as you slowly tilt your chin to the right and breathe. Bring your head back through center, take a breath in. And then release the twist. Straighten the legs out for a moment, straighten the arms out. Just notice the kind of bounce back. When you're ready, rebend the knees. Set up your twist on the other side. Left knee over right knee. Push into the right foot, shift the hips to the left, and then drop the knees to the right. Do what feels best with your left arm and elbow. So for me, a bent elbow feels good. For some folks, teeing that arm out feels nice. And then same with the neck.
If it feels good to keep your nose pointing straight up, do that. If it feels good to nod your chin to the left, go there. And then just tune back into the sensations of your breath. When you're ready, come back through center, take a breath in. And find a resting shape. That could be Shavasana. It might be a butterfly with your feet together and your knees apart. It might also feel good to take kind of a broken bridge shape if your lower back has some tenderness going on by bringing your feet a little wider than hips distance and letting the knees drop in to rest against each other. So choose which version of a closing shape is going to serve you best, your mind, your body, your spirit. And then invite yourself into that space of rest, of relaxation. Invite yourself into the opportunity to let go a little bit more and make some space. And stay here, listen for my voice in just a few moments to end our practice. Staying in your resting shape for just a moment longer as you start to curl your toes in toward the soles of the feet. Crunch your fingers in, kind of balling up your hands into fists. You start to tense up other muscles in your body as much or as little as you'd like. So maybe squeeze into the legs, squeeze into the arms, maybe the face as well. Take a breath into that tension. Squeeze as much as you safely can. On your exhale, slowly relax the fingers, the toes, the arms, the legs. Let it go. And reach the arms up overhead. Drink in a really big inhale. Open mouth exhale. Meet me in a seat if you'd like. Thank you for sharing some of your day, some of your energy, for taking care of yourself. Keep at it, and I hope to see you again real soon.